Jared, how the heck you doing, brother?
What's up, guys? Doing great. Would be nice if England could score a goal finally.
Oh, yeah. You living?
Oh, your guy, Harry Kane.
Living and dying with this right now. You should be there. I mean, your presence clearly helped him the last time he was on the pitch.
That's true. Yeah, they should just kind of like the Tartan Army should follow around the Rangers 2-0. I mean, I don't know.
Cool.
I'm not sure how many people were at both games, but I think the Rangers are big fans of Team Scotland, hoping for a win tomorrow against Brazil so they can keep the journey going.
We asked Latz if he'd pitch in a kilt, and he said he might do
a
lot of slide step is what he said. You know, no leg lift, a lot of slide step is what he would say. Yeah.
You can just go leggings, right? I mean, it's, why are we so opposed to that? I mean, there are women that they play volleyball basically naked, right? I mean, like they wear the spandex. Like, guys can do the same.
Would that be your big MLB rule change, is get the dudes in spandex out there?
I mean, I don't know that I'm like, I want to make that change. I'm just saying, like, if you went kilt, if you lift the leg up, I mean, I think you can make it work. I think, hey, Rod Barajas and I were talking about, like, especially when you come to Miami where it's humid, you got jeans on, it can get a little sweaty in those areas, right? The kilt allows it to breathe a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ask Tyler Alexander how he feels about the breathability there with his chafing situation.
Jared's going to hold the line on this. He is. He's not going to budge.
He's not going to budge.
We might have lost him again.
Jared, are you with us?
Jared?
Oh, wow. I just thought he was.
I thought he laying out?
He was laying out in a legendary way, putting Wolchuk in an uncomfortable spot, talking about the free-balling nature of Tyler Alexander in a very humid atmosphere in Miami. So we will work to get Jared back on the line here. Maybe it was an AirPod that crashed out on him.
It might have been.
Maybe he slammed his phone in the name of England not being able to score.
God,
Harry Kane, he was down there, looked a little rough, had a nice tackle on him.
I could see Jared being the Brian Windhorst to LeBron James. Remember where he just was following? He was following LeBron everywhere he went, being the second-to-second beat writer for specifically LeBron James. I think Jared would embrace that role for Harry Kane.
I think Bron called him a weirdo.
He did, and I think Harry might end up feeling the exact same way.
Wanker.
It's an astute point by Lucius there. It might not end well, but for a good half decade, Jared could be living his all-time dream, being next to Harry Kane every second of the day. Jared, you with us?
I'm with you guys. Sorry, they can't afford cell signal here at this ballpark.
Gosh dang it. Lone Depot Park, man. Well, hey, at least it was rocking last night. Okay, the big news right now is Jack Leiter and the ankle surgery.
No, the big news is Rocker and Lats, dude. That's the big positive news.
This is we'll get to the positives for sure. But what's going on with Jack, and I guess how are they going to look to remedy this rotation now? Or is it just we wait for Monty?
Yeah, well, I don't know. If you're waiting for Monty, you're going to be waiting a little bit, right? He just, he made his first rehab appearance through one inning. I think it's probably going to be a month or so before he's a full-fledged, could give you 6 innings reliably type starter. So now that doesn't mean he couldn't be available sooner in a piggyback role. I think Cal Quantrill's got a chance to, earn an opportunity. I think Jose Corniel's got a chance to earn an opportunity. But I think right now it's a wait-and-see type of proposition, and then they'll figure it out as things progress. But they obviously, they're going to have to rely on some depth. You might be in a situation where you got to make some roster changes to keep your bullpen protected if you're going with a piggyback type of setup. But Cal Quantrill's been a starter the last 4 years prior to this season, so. He could earn it. Jose Corniel, and then Jordan Montgomery, as he works his way back, could have a role in that conversation in the near future too.
So, are we just going permanent opener now for Kumar Rocker since he just has career highs every time afterwards?
Yeah, I mean it's a tough argument to make if you want to go on the other side of that. At least on the road for sure. I think it's a tough argument. I know he's not coming off a great home start, but it hasn't been as big of an issue at home typically. But yeah, I mean, I think, hopefully there's some buy-in there, and maybe it depends, matchup to matchup. But I think it definitely has to be something that gets considered, to be a more regular part of Kumar, at least for right now, right? I mean, maybe he graduates from that eventually. I think, the hope is that he will, but for right now. It's certainly tough to argue with the results. That doesn't mean it's going to happen next time out. But, when they take on Toronto, on the road, which will be his next start, I think you probably would consider it, especially, the bullpen usage the couple days before could definitely play a role in that conversation. But I think you got to consider it, no doubt.
Jared Sandler with us here in the GBAG Nation. What stands out about the lineup today? Brandon Nimmo DHing. What do we think about that?
Yeah, giving him a partial day off, giving Jake Berger a day off, against a tough righty in Sandy Alcantara. I Skip's talked about having to find opportunities for guys to get time off during the stretch of 15 games and 15 days. And, I guess this game and this matchup, makes sense to do a couple of those things. And, they're going to have to – it's going to be a tough game. You're throwing some sort of a bullpen game at the Marlins. They're throwing Sandy Alcantara, who his overall numbers haven't been great, but he's been a lot better here recently. And the Rangers are working at a little bit of a deficit in the bullpen when you consider the usage of Junis and Lax the last few days. Both guys have been used 3 times the last 4 games. So I'm sure if the opportunity presents itself, Skip would like to stay away from those guys. So it will be a tough matchup, but we'll see how the Rangers compete.
Is that something we could see Seager DHing a little bit more when he does return?
Yeah, I think so. How much more often, I don't know. It'd be easier if you.
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah. Jeez, Lone Depot Park, you kidding me? I mean, yeah, because I'd like to see this. Oh.
Certain guys. What's that?
You cut out. You cut out at the very beginning of the answer. Could you begin that answer again, please?
Start from the top.
Yeah, just run it back.
Let's go back to the kilts.
Yeah, I think it's. I'll keep it quick. I think it's something that you could see for sure with Corey to try and keep his bat in the lineup.
I love it. Jared Sandler with us here on The Fan. So Alcantara, you mentioned he's starting to pitch a little bit better. Is that what's happening? Because when you look at his overall numbers, they're not dominant.
Yeah, not dominant. Wasn't good in May. He's been a lot better in April. It's tough to know what to make, because he had a stretch there where he was one of the best in baseball. Was it 2022? I think. He had a sub-3 ERA. He was a super stud, right? He hasn't quite been the same since injuries, but it wasn't very good last year. And there's some peripheral numbers this year that are actually worse than they were last year. But he has been better lately. And, I think because of the track record, it's tough to just not give him respect. But, hopefully the Rangers can get the version of Sandy Alcantara that struggled mightily in May, not the guy who, has been very good here in the month of June.
Jared Kelenic starting in left field. I remember him coming up, and he hits that home run with Seattle. I mean, he was one of the premier prospects in all of Major League Baseball. I mean, I guess this is like, hey, let's see what can happen here. But so far, what are your early impressions of Kelenic and what you're hoping to see tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he's a good athlete. So, hopefully he can be, added value on the bases. He made a really nice play defensively the other day. His first start in left field, he's capable there for sure. Obviously, a lot of what keeps a guy from, establishing himself as a valuable everyday player is consistency with the bat. He's a guy who's in there to face righties, not a guy that's going to face a lot of lefties. But I think consistency with the bat. He had a really good year in 2023, and then when he kicked, he kicked something, and out of frustration, and that. If it didn't end his year, it came close to ending his year. Gets traded to Baltimore in the offseason. I think Seattle is ready to, maybe turn the page. And, I guess, he's definitely been humbled a little bit. Early on in his career, he's 26, though. We always talk about how guys develop at different times. And, he's still got the same talent that made him one of baseball's top prospects. That doesn't guarantee that it's going to always translate, right? I mean, that's a big difference between, guys who do and guys who don't. But at 26, I don't know that his story is fully written. I also don't know that the Rangers are banking on him turning into the guy that was the top prospect in baseball. I think, right now it's just an opportunity for them to get some depth in their lineup with some of the injuries they've sustained.
How long do you think they want to stretch Quantrill tonight?
He's thrown as many as 70 pitches. My guess is he'd probably be closer to 50 to 60 today or tonight, but, also depends on how he does. I think if he's mowing guys down, pitching low-stress innings, you might see him closer to that 70 mark. If he's dealing with traffic, And, there's a hinge point in the game where Skip Schumacher feels like he can go to the bullpen and make a difference in doing so, then you might see it closer to the 60 mark. And obviously, if he's not performing well, it might not get to that mark, but the Rangers are hoping that's not the case.
Cafecito and Cuban sandwiches, has that been on the menu?
Yeah, what about them? Yeah, those actually might be if we get to it, we got a pregame segment where we'll discuss all sorts of things, and that might be a topic of conversation for Mike Bassick and Brad Miller. We'll see. But, I'm not a coffee guy, but Cuban sandwiches, I can definitely shove those in my mouth.
Hey, hold the pickles, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hold the pickles for sure.
And the mustard?
I don't like sticking a pickle in my mouth. Yeah, no pickles, no mustard, but you can make those adjustments. I don't care how big it is. I can throw it down.
Yeah, hey, do you ever get invited to the golf matches like the TV guys have? Do you ever get to go play golf with those guys?
All the time. No, I get invited all the time.
They invite you and you just don't go, do you? Or do you go?
I don't. Somehow they have 6 hours every day.
Yeah.
You factor in the drive time and to do this. I don't. I don't know how they have the time to do it. But not a lot of golfing these days with Dave busting his hand on a pipe or whatever. Yeah. So, I'll go occasionally. I just don't have 6 hours to do this every day. I don't know how they do it.
Who the Mavs picking tonight, Jared?
That's a good question. Are the Mavs trading their pick or no? What do you guys think?
I think they're going to move. I think they're going to move up and get Acuff.
Oh, really?
Not really, but that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay. I'll take that. I think he pairs well with Cooper because Cooper can play D even though Acuff doesn't. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll just draft the Michigan team now.
Hey, Jared, you just subbed off your number 10. What about that today? You just subbed him off. What about that?
Are you talking about Jude Bellingham?
Yeah.
Hey, Jude.
Yeah, I mean, well, they did that. They did that in the opener as well. They're obviously in a position right now where they need a score. I mean, I guess they can take a draw, but I mean that kind of stinks. They're favored by multiple goals, which doesn't happen. There were a lot of questions whether Jude was going to be in the starting 11 coming into the tournament. He kind of hasn't been in top form with Real Madrid, but I thought he played really well against Croatia. I have not watched a lot of the Ghana match. We were down on the field. I've watched the last 10 minutes. I saw Harry have a nice opportunity that he shot right in the goalie, which isn't a good strategy.
Thank you, Jared. We love you, bro.
See you guys.
Bye, Jared.